Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton, and joining me on the podcast today is our Lothario lawyer over here, Derek Kaufman.
First time I've gotten that title on the live version, so you're just convinced this is going to stick.
We are on a live version right now. Do you feel more nervous?
Yeah, I got some nerves. I benefit from a little post-production, you know?
Right.
Yeah, clean me up a little bit, but we'll do the best we can.
Well, if you'd like to leave a review for Derek, then please leave your comments, concerns, questions, whatever, and we'll get to them at the end of the episode.
Yep. For Charlie, just blurt anything out. We'll answer those too.
We'll answer those too. We're going to talk about Diddy because more claims are coming out. I think some of these recent claims have been the most shocking of the bunch. So we'll talk about that. A kind of famous guy just got out of prison and is talking all about it. The guy at the center of the college admissions scandal, Rick Springer, he was the mastermind behind the Varsity Blues thing. He's now talking and he's saying,
I want to get back in the game.
He's saying I'm already back in the game.
I'm in the game. How about that?
I kind of love this guy in a way. And finally, we'll talk about more and more celebrity endorsements for political candidates are coming out. There was two notable ones on the weekend, and we'll discuss that there at the end.
Let's do it.
But to begin with, Diddy is facing so many claims, but the ones that have come out in the last couple of days, maybe the most shocking of the bunch, because now a Jane Doe is coming out saying that back in 2000, when she was 13, she was raped by Diddy and unnamed other celebrities.
This is what we've been worried about since all of these lawsuits started coming out of Tony Busby, is that other celebrities were nervous because Diddy has had parties for decades, white parties, other parties, after parties for award shows, and a lot of celebrities attend them. And some of the allegations are that these parties may start off sort of innocent, but then they evolve into freak-offs. And
Right.
if you stay too late, things get a little weird. And now we're starting to see, not name-dropping yet, but alluding to other celebrities being involved in some of this misconduct. Now, when someone sues as a Jane Doe, they're keeping things anonymous as possible. The celebrity is not named, so that allegation's not out there. This is to leave yourself openings. Like, someone reads this and they go, oh, man, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm going
right.
to go contact that person and I'm going to try to settle this. Not because I necessarily raped her or anything like that, but because if my name is dragged through the mud in a lawsuit, I'm going to lose my career and I could be a very, very famous person. So this is sort of to dangle out, sort of a tactic to draw out potentially a settlement. If not, you could see that name coming public eventually in the course of the lawsuit.
Right. I think any celebrities who sort of either attended a Diddy party, probably a little bit nervous. I mean, if you know you didn't do anything wrong, then there's nothing really to be nervous about. But I bet there are some celebrities who probably partook in a freak-off, you know, maybe they think consensually, but are worried now because Diddy parties were celebrity parties.
Yes.
And that's why, like, in Discovery, when all the evidence comes out, we could potentially hear so many different names coming out, and it'd just be maybe the biggest court case in entertainment news celebrities ever.
It could be. I mean, there are shades of, you remember when Bill Cosby was getting sued left and right and people saying they were drugged? There were celebrities involved in that as well. Janice Dickinson made allegations against Bill Cosby, but some of those they felt older, right? I mean, he's from a different generation. Some of the celebrities felt like from yesteryear. Not everyone knew. These are current people. Diddy was a very vibrant, active, sort of modern-like celebrity, for lack of a better word. So this is earth-shaking, and I think we're going to see more of it. Now we're getting to these allegations where a lot of them are saying they were drugged, right? I mean, that was always involved in the freak-offs drug use, but I think you're going to see more of these because then they can say, oh, I just remembered. It was hazy to me, but now it's all coming back to me seeing Diddy get indicted. Now I want to bring my lawsuit because these are a little late in the day, right? Diddy had a wave of civil suits, then he's facing the criminal allegations, and now we're seeing this second wave of civil litigation. People are wondering, are you making it up? Are you piling on? And what you're going to see is people say, I'm not piling on. I just didn't know because I was drugged at the time. And that doesn't mean the allegations are true or not, but it'll be interesting to see how these develop because at this point you have to say, why now? Why are you coming out now?
It's so hard to get to the truth. And in any case, let alone when there's hundreds of cases.
Yes.
Or, I mean, and this Busby lawyer is representing just about all of them, it seems, at this point.
But you're right. Sexual impropriety is done behind closed doors. So those are the hardest cases to figure out what's going on. It's often he said, she said kind of stuff.
It's going to only be, I mean, I guess maybe there's witnesses in certain specific cases, but I'm just saying there's so many cases, and everybody in the room at the time probably was affected by drugs or alcohol.
And a long passage of time. This is an allegation of 2000. I mean, that's 24 years ago. Some of them are 2014 I've seen. Even that's a decade ago.
It's going to be very difficult for a jury or whoever to determine what actually happened. And Diddy, for his part, is now basically saying that all of these different cases being brought against me is almost muddying the water and tainting the jury pool. He's saying I can't get a fair trial now because of all of this media circus, and now everyone just assumes the worst about me.
Yeah, look, and in some sense, he's right. We are supposed to punish in our criminal justice system bad acts, not bad people. And he's saying, now I'm just being painted as a bad person, right? Out there in the media, there's a 1-800 number. He's sort of clowning Tony Busby and saying, this guy is just inviting people to lie about me. He is insisting in a sort of general denial kind of way, I never raped or sexually assaulted any minor or adult, male or female, because the allegations are from all over the place. And he's saying, I can't really address each and every one as news organizations call me and say, hey, got comment on this one. So generally, I'm just saying I didn't rape anyone.
Right.
And I don't know how effective that is, because in his criminal case, he's going to have to get in the specifics. He's going to have to talk about this stuff sort of more directly, not talk on the stand, but he's going to have to address it. I mean,
are they going to go, like, is it going to be one case with, it's going to be one court trial, I mean, with all of these cases attached to this one court trial? It's just a spectacle.
Unclear at this point. Like, there are sometimes when you consolidate the cases, but they are different. Sexual assaults happened at different times, different places. You know, the alleged activity is not easy to just consolidate. In the Astroworld case, remember Travis Scott, they consolidated everything. Everything happened at Astroworld. If you were harmed at Astroworld, we're going to put it into one case, and we're going to manage that case through one judge who understands everything about Astroworld. I don't think you can do that in a case where there's hundreds of sexual assaults at different places and times.
Okay, let's get on with our next story. Rick Singer is speaking out. He was obviously the mastermind behind the college admissions scandal. He was in charge of, you know, he'd have rich parents on one hand, he'd have colleges on the other, and the parents would donate money to the college and pretend that their kid was like some star rower to get on the rowing team to get into USC.
Maybe a little help with the SATs for Felicity Huffman's kid, remember?
I do.
The proctor would come in and give you a little extra time or take some of the questions out.
Well, now he's out from behind bars. He's in a halfway house, and he is talking to GMA about his experience. Let's have a listen to it now.
I take full responsibility for everything I did. I am wrong, 100% wrong. And I got 93 texts. I just been on national TV. They got everybody in my face, right? Within an hour. 93 texts. Are you guys still coming this week?
You still view this as a victimless crime.
Yes, ma'am.
And you now believe that people will trust you.
Yes, ma'am.
To help you get their kids into college still.
It's already going on right now.
Hey, Rick Singer is going to be all right. Like,
this is what blows my mind, though. 100% a victimless crime. You know the victims? The universities who were lied to and deceived. But in any event, he says, there's no victim here. I just helped kids get into college. The way he still paints this doesn't look like he learned any lesson.
No.
But will he survive? I think you're right. He's got a real skill, and it's not just the illegal stuff that he did. He has a real skill in helping kids navigate a very difficult system of higher education and get in. He's got results. But I think 85 to 93% get into good colleges. There's parents who are going to hire him. They're going to say, just don't do the illegal stuff. Just give me the good stuff.
Oh, 100%. If you think of college admissions, you only think of one name, and it's Rick Singer.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so if I'm a parent, especially if I'm a rich parent with a dumb kid, I'm contacting Rick Singer, and I'm saying, I know I don't want to be the next Felicity Huffman, but can you please get my dumb kid into a good college?
Yeah, and there's another element of this. He's now served time for this, so he has sort of found the outer boundary of what is acceptable in terms of running a college admission program. So it's kind of like, I always bring this up, when an airline files bankruptcy, they're actually the safest airline to ride on, right? Because yes, it's statistically, they are very careful because they've already been in bankruptcy, and so they know how to ride right up to the line and and run things as safely as possible because the government's looking at them.
But why are they going to
with Rick Singer, right?
Why are they going to bankruptcy in the first place? I want to go with Qantas. Thank you very much.
Well, this is a good question, right?
Yeah.
So why is Rick Singer in prison in the first place? And now how can he say that I'll just do everything above by the book this time? That you're right. It's a mixed question. I'm not sure how you can perceive him. It's kind of like Harvey Weinstein. Could he come out and make movies? He made a lot of Oscar-winning movies. What he will get out of prison potentially eventually. Will he come out and people want to work with him? I don't think so.
Right.
But Rick Singer seems different. I guess it's a real skill, and it's like you just use him once and you're like, hold your nose, and you're like, just get my kid into Harvard.
Totally. I mean, he's already got his business, and he's running it. He thinks successfully right now. I think this guy is going to be...
Now, the feds will be watching him like
Right.
a hawk to make sure he minds his P's and Q's. And maybe you want someone who isn't being watched by the feds, who can take a few extra liberties, a little photo shoot in the, on the erg machine kind of thing. So I don't know if he's in like the best standing to do this, but he's confident, man. And I've seen these college admissions guys. He is an impressive guy. He's a very well-known guy.
Shout out to Rick Singer. Man, that guy.
And he deserves a second chance. Look, he did serve his time.
Okay, on to our final story. Celebrities are getting very involved in this political race. Over the weekend, we had Antonio Brown on one stage with President Trump, and we had Usher on stage with Kamala Harris in Atlanta. Do you think that, celebrities getting up on stage with their preferred candidate really moves the needle, or are these guys just trying to get a bit more attention?
Yeah, this is an attention grab. I'm not sure that this moves much, but I always think like the Trump celebrities, a lot of liberals sit back and they snicker. They're like, oh, it's Kid Rock, it's Antonio Brown, he's a knucklehead, it's Le'Veon Bell. I think they like that. I think when there's the snickering and Usher comes out, he looks so polished and impressive, and he's obviously a bigger celebrity than these guys. I think the right says, yeah, go ahead and laugh all the way. We'll go to the White House, and we're the misfits, and we know you're pretentious, sort of liberal ivory tower, but we're going to take the White House. I think that plays into their hand, and I think that's why he trots out the Kid Rocks and the ones that are easily sort of made fun of and mocked. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think at a certain point, celebrity endorsements might hurt.
I do too. And I think when you bring out Usher, he looks like he doesn't connect with America. I can't relate to Usher's life. No. I really can't.
No, but Usher's not for you, Derek.
Fair enough. Fair enough, but I can't relate to Kim Kardashian. Her life is so far removed from mine. I don't really relate to Antonio Brown. He's done a lot of like weird, antics, but he seems grounded more in a way that he seems like a human who has like frailties and goes through issues. And Kim seems so far removed from reality because she's been so rich for so long.
What about Ken Jennings? If he got on stage, the most champion-ish, like Jeopardy champion ever.
Yeah.
I said champion too many times.
He's the champ of champs.
He is. What happens if he got on stage?
And at a Trump rally?
Oh, yeah, at a Trump rally instead.
It would be singularly heartbreaking if I saw Ken Jennings on at a Trump rally. I don't know. They seem sort of apolitical, but I'd love to see it.
If he's like, what candidate am I supporting?
Who is Ken Jennings?
Who is it? Okay, let's read out some of your comments now. Thank you for leaving them throughout the course of this live episode. Lamar Ross says he's sick of hearing about Diddy. We should be focusing on Trump right now. I agree. I mean, it's a bit of a distraction for right now, but it's still like...
We're in the home stretch, so you're going to hear a lot of Trump coverage. It'll be on here and everywhere else.
Yes, Justin Harris agrees. He wants a Diddy diet, trying to take a break. I agree. I think this podcast should go on a Diddy diet. But then tomorrow, more accusers come out or more celebrities get involved. And I mean, what are you supposed to do?
How do you ignore the avalanche of lawsuits? You got to cover it.
Joseph says, regardless of who is named, it won't change anything in Hollywood and the music industry.
So that's interesting. What do you think of that question? I want to sort of dig into that a little bit. Will things change, or are you still going to always have room for the party guy, the impresario? Who's going to fill that void, or will that void be filled? We were talking about 50 Cent. Is he the new guy to have the parties after all the awards, the Grammys, the MTV Awards, the BET Awards? Is that now 50's role? Is he the grandfather of
I think he would
the music industry?
He would like to step in, I think.
I think he would too.
Because he's just a career troll, would love to like take what was Diddy's.
Yes. The other question is, when you get so powerful, does everything bend towards corruption, right? Like when you are just like the guy about town, everything sort of curves towards sex parties, because you just like have nothing else to do than explore like sex with as many partners as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, Donna Dixon said that on the Varsity Blues scandal that these kids were unable to get into college. There were kids that were unable to get in college because of the rich kids.
Thank you, Donna. Those are the victims.
I actually disagree.
Oh, tell me. Pray tell.
Well, I was listening to Rick, and Rick says, the college wanted the money, basically.
Yes.
And so they're like, Rick, find me someone who's going to pay this money. If Rick didn't find that rich kid, the college would have found another rich kid. So it's not like some amazing athlete's missing out.
Right.
It's like whoever was going to get this spot was going to be like an inadequate but wealthy young child.
Yeah, no, like, I've heard this argument before. There are front doors to go in with lots of money. Like Dr. Dre was brought up during the Varsity Blues. He wasn't at all tied to the scandal, but he bought a building, and that's considered the front door. It's like, hey, that building's called the Dre building. My kid should get in. That's considered so much money that the university is like, yeah, we'll let your kid in. It's more sort of the university understands what's going on. Here, he deceived the university. That's the problem with what Rick Singer did, is he took lesser celebrities who couldn't donate tens of millions but could only donate tens of thousands, and he somehow got in through the side door. That's why he was criticized. I don't know.
You got to help the poor celebrities out there.
He had some hustle, man.
He had some hustle.
The Lori Loughlin kids aren't going to get in through the Dre door. You know?
True. Try the side. All right, Derek, thanks for joining me, mate.
Always fun.
And we will see you guys here tomorrow. Goodbye.